home, safe, loved, and cared for. Unfortunately, for thousands of children, it is just an illusion that they could not have. Good morning, my name is Umi Nur Izzati Islami binti Abbas.
As the renowned psychologist Alice Miller once said, children are born to grow, to develop, to live, to love, and to articulate their basic needs and to protect their emotions for their self-protection. However, year by year, cases of child neglect have been growing like weeds and spreading silently across the communities all over the world. So hi and good morning. My name is Nurul Hanim Batrisha binti Muhammad Rusdi. You can call me Hanim. And today we want to bring your attention to an issue that often ignored but deeply damaging, which is child neglect.
Child neglect is a serious issue that affects the well-being and the development of children worldwide. It is defined as a failure to meet a child's basic needs such as physical, emotional, educational, and medical.
So today, we want to explore in depth about the effects of mental health disorder in children, especially due to the lack of emotional support and the development of attachment issues.
A neglected child doesn't just go unnoticed. They grow up being unheard by the very people who are supposed to be their safe space, which is their parents. One of the most painful consequences of child neglect is the absence of the emotional support, the comfort, the love, and the validation that every children deserves. When that emotional support is missing, it is just not a gap, it is a lifelong wound. Imagine a child who is hurting, but no one seems to care. No one asks, what's wrong? Eventually, the child stops expecting comfort from people, and worst of all, they begin to believe that their feelings don't matter at all. This emotional neglect often leads to low self-esteem. These children grow up feeling invisible and blaming themselves for everything that goes wrong and thinking they are simply not good enough. Their inner voice being harsh on them. They say to themselves, I'm not lovable, I'm not good enough. And then even a small mistake is like a proof that they are a failure and unworthy of love. Imagine a kid 10 years old go to a school with messy hair and empty eyes, and when they go to the class and get a wrong question, and then he said to herself, I'm so stupid like that. And then at home, no one asks her how you doing, how she's feeling, and then no hugs, no comfort, just silence. She's learned to keep everything inside. Now she doesn't cry, doesn't speak, or even doesn't smile. She believes that no one cares. So some children may even become emotionally numb, unable to cry, laugh, or even expressing their true feelings. To them, emotions feel pointless, and so they begin to shut them down completely. On the other hand, some children may even experience emotional outbursts. They may experience neglected children often struggle to understand and to control their feelings. Without emotional guidance, they don't know how to manage overwhelming feelings like anger, fear, or sadness. So they might break down easily, cry over small things, not because they are weak, but because no one ever taught them how to manage their emotions in a healthy way. They grew up without the emotional tools that most people take for granted. So every child needs emotional support to feel loved, to be heard and safe. Without it, they grow up feeling alone, broken, and unsure of their worth. But with emotional support, they can feel stronger, heal, and learn to believe in themselves again. Just knowing someone cares can make all the difference.
So, child neglect is like planting a tree but never watering it. The roots, which are our emotional bonds, struggle to grow. So the tree might still stand, but it grows fragile, twisted, and always reaching for something it never received, which is care. So that's what attachment issues feels like. Attachment issues are not just about someone being clingy or afraid of losing people. It's actually much deeper than that. It's about the internal battle to connect, to trust and feel safe in relationship, whether it's with your friends, with your parents and your partner. And you may ask, where do these issues begin? According to psychologists, they often start in our early childhood, particularly with our own caregivers. So when a child experiences neglect, inconsistent love or emotional trauma, it disrupts their ability to form a healthy emotional bonds with others. And when we hear about attachment issues, we might think it's just about someone who can't be alone. But the truth is, it's much deeper than that. It's about deep-rooted fear and emotional wounds that silently shape how we connect with others. So the first one is, let's talk about anxious attachment. This is when a person becomes overly worried about being abandoned or not truly loved. They crave closeness yet constantly question if they are truly loved, truly worthy of love. So it is exhausting for themselves and the person they love. So, for example, Hazik's mother was warm and affectionate one day, and the next day she becomes cold and distant. So it makes Hazik confused and insecure. The result is, as an adult, Hazik always overthinking in every relationship he had. So he constantly asks himself, do they really love me? And he fears about being left behind. The next one is avoidant attachment. In my opinion, this one is even more heartbreaking. Why? Because these individuals fear closeness, not because they don't want love, but because they've learned that if they show their vulnerability, it will lead to pain or rejection. So instead of leaning in, they push people away. For instance, Sarah grew up in a household where emotions were seen as drama. So whenever she cried, her parents will say, "Stop being sensitive." So the result is, when she grew up, she avoids expressing her feelings and towards towards her partners or even friends. So what we could say is, at the end, attachment issues come from the love that we didn't get when we need it the most. But with care and support, healing is still possible. Even a hurt heart can feel safe and feel loved again. Not yet.
When a child grows up without emotional support, it is more than just a sadness. It shapes how they see themselves and how they connect with others.
And neglect doesn't always leave bruises on the skin, but it leaves deep wounds in the heart, and it making the person who experienced it unable to trust or feel safe or believe that they are truly loved. But understanding this effect is the first step towards healing.
Because every child is deserves to be felt, to be seen, heard, and valued. I think that's all from us.
Thank you for how long was that?
9 minutes, 45 seconds.
Again?
9 minutes.
9 minutes, okay. Alright, let's go to some questions. So today we only have 3 presentations, yeah? Because next week we have 2, right? Okay. So
issues, it might seem the same, but not really. Okay. Attachment issues is usually the effect of being child abuse. Sorry. Oh, child abuse and child neglect. Okay. It's almost seem the same, but it's not. So if child abuse, let's say I'm the mother and Umi is my daughter, and okay, let's say Umi asked me for some food, and I said that no, I don't have time to do that. Later lah. So that's a form of child neglect. If child abuse, I just go to Umi, I slap her. That's child abuse. Okay. Do that answer your question?
Yes.
Does that answer your question?
Thank you. All right. Is Iman coming here? Yes, Iman. You can ask. Like, it's only the red cup now. Yeah, the person that me have to ask.
What are the common signs? Common sign of child being neglected.
Common signs.
Common signs.
Like, how can we identify, right, Iman? If the child is being neglected or not?
Being alone most of the time. Okay, I think that's that.
Yes.
Okay, so my question for both of you, there have been cases before, right, of parents being neglectful of their children, and this includes like forgetting to pick them up, yeah, not providing their basic needs, right, as you mentioned. So the cases like, the heartbreaking cases of parents who accidentally left their children in the car, right? So is that child neglect, and what can we do to avoid these things from happening in society? Because it keeps happening, right? And legally there's no punishment or anything, right? So if it is child neglect, what can we do so that we can prevent it from happening? Prevent more babies from dying in the hot sun because their parents, accidentally neglected them. Yeah, you can answer together, yeah, and you can help each other.
So from my perspective, how we can prevent this child neglect incident from happening? I think last year at Pitram, I saw someone inventing car seat, baby car seat, and that have detect something that detect if the child left alone in the car, so it will ring now. So I think if parents who are careless or However, they could spend their money on that to protect the life of their daughters or son.
So it's like an advice, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. How about you? How can we prevent this, or what can be done, right? Other than what Halim just mentioned.
I think the parents should pay more attention to their children everywhere, or even even at home. They should take care of the children every time.
But in that case, of course, they did not mean to leave the child there, right? So, what can society do to help them, perhaps? What can we do to help, such parents who are so busy, maybe you're forgetful?
Maybe if the neighbor said something wrong with the families, maybe they can report the parents, or